Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Now look, I just had some dental work done. I had something called a deep cleanse. I've never had cavities. I never had any issues with my teeth. But I had some root exposure. So they have to numb a side of your face, right? To go in and give you a cleaning just like any regular cleaning. The problem is they have to numb the right side of my face. So when I'm talking right now, like right now, my mouth, this part of my mouth, that shit is numb. My face feels crazy right now. But I feel like I'm that guy, the rapper Conway, the one who had the face paralyzed. And that's really how I feel. So I'm going to do this video anyway because I got a good sense of humor. So I can laugh at myself. I don't give a shit, you know what I'm saying? I'm retired. Life is good. I don't have to work ever again. Life is good. But I need to be able to laugh and have fun because that's what life is about, you know what I'm saying? That being said, we're going to talk about Tyson Fury with my half paralyzed face because this shit is crazy. Look, I can't even do this. You see that? This part of the shit not moving. That's crazy, right? Anyway, I wasted your time with enough of that. Hey, you hold your horses. Let's not take it to the stupid because Tyson Fury's already taken it to the stupid. Y'all see what's going on out here? I've been trying to tell y'all. We have conversations. People out here calling me crazy, saying I'm just, pulling stuff out the air, throwing crap to the wall to see what sticks. I'm telling you that's not the case. I do a lot of reading. I don't watch a lot of videos. But I like to read the articles. And every now and then I catch a little snippet from a video and I'll hear something that kind of triggers me to do a little more research or maybe watch the entire video. Now, I've been talking about Tyson Fury for quite some time. I think he's an amazing fighter, okay? And for anyone who wants to say, oh, he cheated Wilder, he's not great. Listen, look, what I'll say is this, right? Let's go back. I'm licking my lips because that shit is numb. I can't feel it, right? This shit feels crazy. Let's go all the way back to when, before Tyson Fury fought Vladimir. Tyson Fury was out here, giving people the business. He wasn't knocking people out cold necessarily, but he was getting knockouts still. So we can't take that away from Tyson Fury. I know there was a little issue, something about gloves. I get it, seen the video, talked about it before. I'm not here to talk about that. But I don't think we can try to discredit Tyson Fury, the Tyson Fury that built up his record and went on to dethrone a seemingly invincible Vladimir Klitschko. Okay? Now, that's why I give him all the credit in the world. But when he returned to the sport of boxing, right, this is where we're going to pick it up. I've talked about this in a lot of videos, so it's like I'm becoming a broken record, but I'm not going to rehash everything. What I'll say is this relationship with Kinahan, right, that started as Tyson Fury was coming out of depression, drug and alcohol abuse. He hooked up with Kinahan. I've talked about this, right? Kinahan has connections throughout the Middle East, Dubai, Saudi, and his family connections in Africa, right? The stuff going on in Africa has a lot to do with the illegal drug trade and his family, his father in particular, being protected by the African government, okay? Now, there's several countries in Africa. Now, I've done videos on it. Off the top of my head, I can't pull it, but there's several countries in Africa where there's a lot of drug trafficking and a lot of things going on where the belief is that the Kinahan cartel, especially the father, is being protected. Because, of course, you got the money to pay people off. It's so corrupt out there in a lot of those countries that, he's going to be okay, all right? Now, the thing is this. For Tyson Fury, okay, we've heard the claims about cheating and stuff like that, and then we try to tie it all together. Like, was it possible for Tyson Fury to have been involved with some kind of corruption, right? I'm going to tell you right now, There's no proof, right? But to me, where there's smoke, there's fire. Tyson Fury came back to the sport of boxing. Kinahan said, I'll lead you back to the top of the heavyweight division and to unbelievable wealth, if you believe in me. Those aren't my words. Ben Davison was talking about that. And he said they described Daniel Kinahan as a godsend. So Tyson Fury comes back, right, to the sport of boxing. He starts losing weight, gets a couple fights. Then he has the fight with Wilder. Okay? Now, when you look at that Otto Wallin fight, many people felt Otto Wallin won that fight, or they felt the fight should have been stopped because of that cut to Tyson Fury's face. That cut was deep, and that cut was long. I personally think the fight should have been stopped, but it didn't stop the fight. Now that people have a better understanding of Tyson Fury's association to Kinahan, now they were able to, like the point we're at today, present day, when people look back at that fight, they say, maybe that fight wasn't stopped because of Daniel Kinahan's involvement with Tyson Fury, right? And the corruption and the stuff that goes on behind the scenes with the Irish cartel using their muscle to intimidate judges, referees, the commission, promoters, okay? And just about anyone they want to get what they need. And if it wasn't intimidation, well, then it was greasing palms. Now, this is just a conversation, right? This is where people's minds started to go because they're trying to make sense of things now. So the Otto Wallin fight is like, maybe. No proof, but maybe. Then he has a fight with Wilder, right? Secondly, you look at the amount, how he was able to lose all that weight and get into shape, okay? So when people look back, present day, when they're looking back at him returning to the sport, how did he lose all that weight? And how did he get in that kind of shape, right? It's amazing how he was able to do that. Then you find out about there's a connection to Usman Sajjad, okay? It's like, whoa, okay. So that kind of helps to make sense of him being able to get the weight off and come back and have this Herculean type strength. Okay, so that's how the Usman Sajjad piece gets tied in now, and people are like, wow, pretty damn, we know he worked with him, but there's no proof of anything foul, but we know Usman Sajjad is kind of tied to this Conor Clomiphene thing, and we know Usman Sajjad has said these, just mind-boggling things about how it's so easy to skirt the system and cheat, and how he said almost all top athletes in the UK are doping, right? That's what he said. Those aren't my words. Those are like, I'm paraphrasing something, but that's what he said. Okay? So now it's like, damn, Tyson Fury had Usman Sajjad? Okay. So it's like, all right, what the hell's going on here? Then he has the first Wilder fight. Let me tell you, Tyson Fury boxed beautifully in that fight. Beautifully. I was like, damn, when I was watching that fight, I was like, yo, what the hell? Like, it was amazing. But then he got caught by Wilder. Hey, look. Fair play up to that point. He gets knocked down. Jack Reese, right? Fury goes down. Jack Reese, if you watch, he kicks Fury's arm. Whether it was intentional or unintentional, he kicks his arm. Then he's kneeled over him, and he's shouting in his face, "Here!" And he's down over the man's face. I thought he was going to tongue kiss him. I thought he was going to drag his tongue across his damn lips. You know what I'm saying? What referee you seen drop down like that and get in somebody's face? 1, 2, it's like, yo, my man, what the hell was that? Tyson Fury, the gypsy gods woke him up. No, man, Jack Reese woke your ass up. But anyway, at the end of the fight, it's over. People now, present day, when they look at that fight, they're like, Jack Reese, long count, Daniel Kinahan, connection, fight can't possibly get stopped. They didn't stop Wilder when they should have stopped it. This is a fight where someone gets knocked out like that by Wilder, or anyone go down like on the back of their head like that, they stop a fight. Why didn't they stop it? Then you got the long count. Then they get up to this and that, right? Why? So there's no proof that there's any foul play there, but people are having a conversation saying, maybe that's what that was about. Okay, maybe there's a little bit. He got a little bit of help in the ring. Okay, then you go to the second fight with Wilder. Right now, people are looking back at that fight, and you're looking at the gloves, and you're looking at everything, and all the allegations, egg weights, etc. some of that stuff seems far-fetched, but people are willing to entertain it because they're like, well, now we know that there was some involvement with this guy who is known for doing the things that I mentioned already. You can see where maybe, right? Some aren't sold on that still, but there are some who are entertaining it more than before. I wouldn't entertain nothing. I was like, man, get out of here, man. Y'all, I ain't saying you're reaching, but there's no proof. But once I started to learn more and more about his community, right? People around him, I said, yo, well, there's smoke, there's fire. So you get through that second fight, and now remember, he beats the hell out of Wilder in that fight. He's never beat anybody like that. And all of a sudden he's saying that, oh, it's thanks to Sugar Hill, he made me into an old school brawler and knockout puncher. That's not how that works, people. But at the same time, we got to remember, Tyson Fury did have knockouts before. He was never a guy to stand on his stand and hold his ground and exchange. He was more floating like a butterfly, stinging like a bee. And one thing I'll say is, it's possible that Sugar Hill turned him into a knockout artist. For those of you who say, no, that's BS. Screw you, Hood Champion. You don't know what you're talking about. Okay. Take the emotion out of it. Jermell Charlo was known as a feather-fisted fighter. His brother was the one. Jamal was known as a knockout puncher. Jermell goes over to Derrick James, and Jermell all of a sudden starts clipping people. So what happened there? Did Jermell have the Irish cartel or somebody there helping him? Did somebody putting egg weights in his gloves? Someone taking padding out of Jermell's gloves? How he coming out here dropping everybody all of a sudden? So to that, I say to you, screw you, subscriber. You don't know your boxing. Come out here telling me I don't know boxing. We're just having a conversation. I don't know everything, but I sure as hell can have a conversation. So you get past the second fight, you're going into the third, then you find out, right, that Deontay Wilder fired his, what's that guy's name, man? He fired the assistant trainer. Tripping, man. Mark Breland, right? He fires him. Then you find out Mark Breland had a strong connection to the Kronk gym. Didn't know that, did you? And it's like, whoa, hold on a second. Mark Breland kind of had risen from obscurity as a result of getting involved with Deontay Wilder and teaching him a style that he kind of fought with. Jab, long, big right hand, and Wilder kind of emulated that style. All of a sudden now Mark Breland is accused of doing something foul. No one wants to believe that, and then you find out Mark Breland had a strong connection to the Kronk gym in Sugar Hill. I'm not saying that there's any truth to it. What I'm saying is, it makes you stop and want to have a conversation. It makes you want to entertain what a person's saying and at least listen now. So fast forward past all that, okay? Plus all the money that was put up for that fight. You remember during this time, you know, Wilder and AJ weren't fighting. They decided to go with the Fury fight. They both were kind of scoffing at AJ. It's almost like they're like, hey, we don't need you. Y'all want to be greedy? Now they're going to have a fight. And all this money is put up for Wilder and Fury. You know, millions and millions of dollars. 20 plus million or so each. 30 plus million or so each. Real money for these guys. Where'd that money come from? Okay, so when we sit here present day and we start looking back, makes you wonder, okay, well, what the hell, how was this happening? Things that weren't possible became possible. So you go into the third fight now, right? And you see how that went. They were both scrapping. And Fury fought dirty as hell in that second fight. If you watch it, he fought very dirty. In that third fight, it was a mashup crash-up. They were going at it, all right? It is what it is. Deontay Wilder lost. But then you look at what happened after that third fight with Fury, right? He thought about retiring because of the damage he took, but he pushed through it. But what I'm getting at is it makes you wonder how he was able to show so much durability and stand up to those Wilder punches that no one else has been able to stand up to, and he wasn't even able to stand up to it in that first fight. How was he able? The second fight was what it was, right? Wilder hit him with a good shot in the first round, and that was pretty much it. But where did the durability come from? It has to go back to maybe people starting to say, hey, he had Usman Sajjad in this corner that possibly knew the right stuff, whether it was legal or illegal, the right stuff as far as a supplementation strategy to give Tyson Fury that would make him go in there and be able to put on a mind-blowing performance. Okay? Now, what I'm saying is we're having a conversation, all right? That's all we're doing here. And that kind of helped some people to get a better understanding of what they were seeing. See, because now that we have all this information, you start trying to assemble it. It's hard to put it together until we get a clear puzzle, but you can start kind of assembling some things where it's like, I mean, it's not quite looking like what I think it should look like, but it looks like something. And that's the point that I'm at. I'm like, yo, it looked like something. So now you get past the second fight with Wilder, the third fight with Wilder, and then you see Tyson Fury go out here, fight Dillian White, fight Chisora, you know what I'm saying? Making a bunch of money. Out here playing around whether he wants to fight, whether he doesn't want to fight. Okay? And then now he decides, okay, I want to fight. And then he gets the Ngannou fight. Not worried about Usyk. But all this talk about Saudi. Okay? No problem. I understand it. You know, everybody wants to get to Saudi to get the money. You know, his brother Tommy Fury fought out there. AJ's out there fighting too. But the bottom line is this. Where we are with Tyson Fury now, he's about to fight Ngannou, and then he's going to fight Usyk. And let me tell you something. Supposedly, right, the money that's being put up, all that money is Prince Turkey, Allah Sheikh, right? There's so much money being put up. They expect for Tyson Fury, this is Bob Arum, Frank Warren, to make, per an article, right, over $200 million, if at a minimum, for the Ngannou fight and the Usyk fight. Now, check this out. I'm hearing other things saying, it could be a couple other fights mixed in. No, the understanding is from an article that I pulled up that it's supposed to be over $200 million just for those two fights alone. Now, I believe that. I believe that. And my thing is, how is Tyson Fury the only one able to get these deals? Now, you know, Eddie Hearn has had a relationship with Kinahan. That's no secret. And he gets some work out there in Saudi. Doesn't mean there's any connection, but he's getting some work out there. Frank Warren obviously had some kind of relationship with Noam or something. Bob Arum definitely had the connection with him because he was paying consultation fees to Kinahan, right? Those consultation fees he was paying to Kinahan were during those couple of fights with Deontay Wilder. I think it was for 2 fights, for those who didn't know that. That's another reason why people were saying, why is he paying consultation fees to somebody? He's been a boxing promoter for how many years? He got to pay somebody consultation fees? So a lot of people weren't buying it when they found out about that. But now you look at who's all out there in Saudi and who's really been able to continue pushing in boxing and making huge money. It's only people associated with Tyson Fury. Why? That's all I want to know. So when you start asking that question, it takes people back to, well, Kinahan said to Tyson Fury, if you trust me, I'll lead you back to the top of the heavyweight division and to unimaginable wealth. But there's no proof that Tyson Fury has anything to do with Kinahan. The problem is, when you look at some of the people who are associated with Kinahan, that were behind Skills Challenge Promotions, they were all friends. So Kinahan disappears, but as far as the plan of action and the vision, it still gets carried out. Doesn't mean that he's still involved, right? What I'm saying is, when people had the conversation, they're like, oh man, Kinahan's got to be behind this. He's got to be the mastermind. Because these are the people who were working with him, and all of a sudden, they're doing these big things in Saudi Arabia that involve boxing. Who took that over to Saudi? And when you start peeling it back even more, like the Super 6 tournament that took place in Saudi, Kinahan was behind that. You know, Richard Schaefer and What's the name of that promotional company that he had when he left Golden Boy? What's his name was on there? Regis Prograde was on there. Let me pull it up now because now I got my dad face shot up and shit. So now, Richard Probellum. It's Probellum, right? So my understanding is Probellum, Kinahan. It's Kinahan. So they were able to put on the cruiserweight tournament and stuff out there in Saudi, and Kinahan had everything to do with that. So when you talk about having roots in Saudi Arabia and Arabia already having that established, it was my understanding is Kinahan already had a foundation. Now, everything that's going on right now, there's no proof of Kinahan having anything to do with it. But the conversation keeps coming back to how? How is Tyson Fury, Bob Arum, Frank Warren, the people around Tyson Fury, how are they the ones out there able to go and grow their profiles and grow their bank accounts, with this push in Saudi? Then you come to where we are now with Tyson Fury, where he's gone on record and said he's no longer fighting in the UK. He feels like with the Dillian White and Derek Chisora fights, he gave them going away fights. He gave them retirement fights. Those two were his retirement fights for the UK. Everything he does, boxing related, going forward, from fighting or whatever it is, it's going to be exclusively in Saudi Arabia until he retires. Why? We know it's a lot of money he's making, but how is he the chosen one? You understand? How is he the only boxer out here with that entitlement? Because let me tell you something. You don't just get chosen to come out there and be the face of boxing for Saudi. I thought it was Derek Chisora with Skills Challenge Promotion, but something went wrong there. Now Tyson Fury is going to finish out his career in Saudi? Yeah, I need answers. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is interesting to me. Francis Ngannou also got a little connection out there too. Y'all know Ngannou's going to be doing work out there in Saudi and in Africa, with the PFL and with boxing. But it comes back to old Tyson Fury. When you take a look from where he started, right, when he returned to the sport of boxing, things he was promised, and look at how his career, the direction his career has gone. All the way up. It don't seem to be slowing down anytime soon. But look at where he's finishing out there in the Middle East, in Saudi Arabia. Listen, people, this makes for a good conversation, and I think we should have it. But when it comes to Tyson Fury, I just don't understand how somebody all of a sudden just wants to finish out their career in Saudi Arabia. Makes you wonder. Y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans, all 7 continents. Leave your comments below. In the breeze.